We're enjoying your emails this morning. They're very cute.
Yeah, Karen says, just love the continued colour coordination. A bit of sunshine from the pair on this gloomy day. But what impresses me, Karen, is you said first red, then pink, now yellow. So you really have been watching every day. It's true. She rings me the night before and says, it's yellow tomorrow, doll.
No, do you know what I actually did this week? I was very organised. I gave you the 3 colours.
Yeah.
And I said, Friday we're going to wear pink, then you're going to wear red, and then we're going to wear yellow. And the cutest part is this one new as well?
No, this isn't new.
But you've been buying ties to match.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very sweet. Sue says, we're making her smile this morning. She loves the pair of us together. Tony says he's salivating thinking about the banana bread with custard. Well done, S&E.
Very, very good. And Teresa said it was the Duchess of Windsor who said you could never be too rich or too thin. There you go. I knew it was somebody famous.
Yeah, somebody. And on pubs, Nicholas says we need to protect our pubs by giving them a heritage grant. They are the heritage of British people and we need to stop them closing.
Well, that's
Not a bad
thought.
idea,
Mind you, trying to get money out of anywhere at the minute is problematic. All right, let's see what's in the papers with the author and journalist Susan Holder and political commentator Andy Williams. Morning, morning, morning.
Morning.
So about the race to the White House, should we, Andy?
Yeah, so if there was any doubt that Donald Trump was going to be the Republican nominee, there is no doubt anymore. He's absolutely thrashed Nikki Haley overnight in her home state of South Carolina, beating her by 20 points. And, yeah, he's going to be
He did say
the nominee.
that the party's never been more united, but she still got 40% of the vote.
In her home state.
Yeah, but it's, you know, significant.
What I would say is that, I don't agree with the fact that the party is united. The party is divided, deeply divided between Trump and Trump supporters and never Trumpers. And that's why Nikki Haley's remained in the race, because she doesn't want to go down without a fight. She says Trump is too old, mentally unfit for office, unhinged, and doesn't believe that Donald Trump can beat Joe Biden.
So she's not staying to be his running mate?
I don't think so.
No, not have her. Mind, she was a big fan at one stage, wasn't she?
Yeah, well, you'd think...
Coached it up with him.
Yeah.
Well, you can never say never. You say, well, she wouldn't be his running mate, but you can't predict what would happen in politics anymore, can you? And, and if you kind of come up with the most ludicrous outcome you could possibly think of, that'll be the one. That'll be one. I mean, the fact that Trump even exists, is it my imagination, or is he just like a Simpsons character come to life? I can't get to grips with the fact that this man could, you know, once again be the most important person in the Western world.
Well, and not only could, but is probably more likely than not to be, really. I mean, I think he's now he's the bookie's favourite. He's the favourite in terms of looking at what American people think about Joe Biden and everything to do with his age. So, yeah, Trump absolutely in the box.
Is there ever any mileage in even thinking that Michelle Obama might put her hat in the ring one day?
Well, that's a nice romantic idea.
Is it? Am I just being romantic on that?
Yeah,
is that
probably.
what it is?
She always
Meghan
said...
Markle one day?
Well...
Well, that's a bit more realistic, but I wouldn't say I was quite as romantic about that.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I find American politics is very odd. It's just the fact we've gone from thinking George W. was quite extreme to now thinking he was very, very middle of the road.
Oh, yeah, everyone thinks he's a lovely cuddly character now, like he paints and isn't he funny? And, yeah, it does show how far we've come in less than 20 years.
Yeah.
So much.
Anyway, I know a lot of you like Trump and want him to win, because we always get lots and lots of emails, but it's just the fact that it would never happen here. You know, we were mourning about chaos in the Commons the other day because some rules were altered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different...
It makes us look very sensible.
Does a bit.
Really. Susan, should we look at something totally different?
Go on.
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs. You want to look at Easter eggs? Well, yes, this was an interesting one. So when you made your cheesecake with mini eggs, presumably you paid for your mini eggs.
Yes, and they're very expensive.
So they are very expensive, and Easter eggs are so expensive that the shops are now putting anti-theft tags on Easter eggs in an attempt to deter thieves, because people are going in and trying to whip away your £3 dairy milk or your £5 for Reese's peanut butter eggs. Anyway, they are very overpriced, though, aren't they, Easter eggs? And they always are.
There's nothing in them.
There's nothing. But the best bit, is it me, or the best bit of an Easter egg is not all the little bits you get with it, which aren't ever very many. They brand them as this brand and that brand. You get but actually, it's the Easter egg. What is it about Easter egg chocolate?
It's the unique taste of Easter egg chocolate.
Yes.
It's the air inside, it must be, that
You think
suddenly...
The whole makes it taste better. What is that?
I
don't
think
know.
it's the thickness.
It is the thickness.
It's not as thick as a standard chocolate bar. It's a lot thinner.
And you get random bits where you get a thick bit and a thin...
So good.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That may be what's good.
Because, like, your bog standard Easter eggs are normally about £1.50, £1.99.
It depends how big you're going. Those are very small now, though, aren't they? But obviously, shoplifting we know is on the increase, and it's not a crime, is it? If you steal less than £200 worth, so you can get quite a few Easter eggs for that. Yeah, it's just a misdemeanour sort of thing. It's antisocial behaviour, so you don't get prosecuted. You won't get arrested for anything under £200. That is not to tell you to go out and do that, but you would get a fair number of Easter eggs. But you'd also be seen. They're not kind of easy to kind of have around you.
What happened with Easter eggs? You see, when I was younger, when you remember this? When you
Go on.
when you used to get an Easter egg.
What are you trying to say?
When you cracked open the Easter egg,
yes,
the sweets were inside.
Oh,
yeah, no.
And now they're just
like a pinata or something.
Yes, like
a pinata with mini eggs
it was
inside.
sealed, and you had to bash it, and it would. Yes, you're completely correct.
And
that
now
is
they're just
in the olden days that I
shoved in the
remember,
same
Stephen.
box.
I do remember. Yeah, and now it's all packaging now. But I do object to the packaging of Easter eggs because we're trying to be so kind of. You get there's the plastic thing around the egg. There's all the cardboard. There's a lot
of them are just cardboard now, but it's still excessive cardboard, isn't it?
It is excessive cardboard, and you're paying for all of that packaging. But I do have to say that you just think, you'd get much better value if you just bought the chocolate, but then you don't get the thinness and the thickness of the egg. I know.
I'm
so it's got to be done.
Had that same
we
thought,
both have
Susan.
that same thought.
Maybe that's a female.
But the headline on the Mirror is quite fun. They've gone with egg, steal or borrow. Oh, to be a sub-editor again. Those are the days.
Those security tags that I've seen on some really strange items in the supermarket, I don't know about you, but I've seen security tags on butter.
Well, that's
butter's become very expensive all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But the item it says in that article that is stolen the most, the ones that are whipped the most, bananas. If you're stealing a banana, I would suggest it's because you're hungry.
Yeah, it's not a snack, isn't it?
Possibly. You know, bananas are the biggest. They sell more. Supermarkets sell more bananas than anything else by miles.
More than anything.
Anything in the supermarket, bananas are always the biggest seller by miles.
Really? And yet we all have bananas that are going off that we have to make into banana bread because we don't eat them quick enough.
Oh, is that why you made banana bread? You've given me bread with going off bananas.
That makes the best. That makes the best. You can't make them with fresh bananas.
Oh, right.
Susan, back me up. They have to be well done.
Well ripened.
Well ripened, yes.
Chucking the rest in the bin. No. Andy, Sunday Telegraph. The BBC is proud to be progressive, but what does it mean by progressive?
Well, I guess that depends on who you ask, but this is a leaked recording from a few years ago where the Director General, Tim Davies, said, and I think he's right, by the way, he said, "We at the BBC do a reasonably good job of walking the joyous tightrope of the culture wars where being progressive, diverse and doing the things we should be proud of is not woke." And his point was, actually, the BBC is an organisation that is forward-looking, that is embracing the future. And what organisation actually would not want to be embodying all of those values? So I think fair enough.
He's just talking the talk there, though, isn't he? I've just written that down. He's walking the joyous tightrope of the culture wars, aren't we all? What does it mean?
Yes, I don't know what that means.
I think I do know what it means. I think what it means is that more so pretty much than any other organisation, the BBC, partly because we pay the licence fee, and yes, the BBC needs to be accountable to all of the people who pay that, the BBC is more in the crosshairs than pretty much any other organisation when it comes to their output, what they put on screen, you know, what their presenters do and say. And as I said, to some extent, that's right.
It doesn't stop Gary Lineker, does it?
Well, but there has been a massive furore about that, hasn't it? And I think when he talks about walking a tightrope, the Gary Lineker thing is a classic example, isn't it?
But then nothing changed.
Well,
did it?
And does he say they're not woke? The BBC is not woke?
He says the BBC is not woke.
Yeah, I think we would disagree with that.
And I think there are lots of people commenting on this piece, including Richard Tice, who are saying that is the case. He does say, however, that the BBC is in danger of groupthink. And I think that is absolutely right, is that if you have a very sort of London-centric media organisation with lots of people who come from similar backgrounds, then of course you might end up with a particular view being projected on the screen.
A lot of the BBC now is a media city in Manchester.
Yeah, but they shipped all the people up.
Yeah, they did take
from
a lot.
London.
Well, I know a lot of people who did actually work locally who did get jobs at Media City. So there was a lot of that relocation because they had to, because you couldn't just put people out of work.
No.
But at least they do have a big hub in the north.
See, what I don't think people understand, if you're not associated with the media in any way, shape or form, what you won't understand, why would you understand, that people who run these things do come from a normally quite well-off, often southern, but it's a totally different middle-class background. And it's why I've never really got on with management in other places.
Well, the BBC also...
Because people, they just don't like me. Because I'm just like some northerner who speaks his mind, and they're just like, they don't like it.
Well, they also used to have a rule, I don't know whether they do anymore, that you had to have a degree to work in any capacity at the BBC. And I don't have a degree. I did the same course as Anne Diamond did, a 2-year journalism course to get into journalism. But that wasn't a degree, it was a vocational course. So I never even went for jobs at the BBC when I first started in television, because I thought, well, they won't even look at me because I don't have a degree. And I don't think that... I can't understand really why that would be relevant, particularly if you've got the right qualifications and experience.
No, exactly.
So they kind of do themselves out of kind of certain areas of society if you do that sort of thing, I would think.
Andy, can we talk about the love of my life, which is Taylor Swift?
Oh, yeah, please, can we? So, an Oxford graduate who has written her dissertation on Taylor Swift and said that she is more culturally important, or as culturally important, as Shakespeare, Chaucer and Wordsworth. And she makes her case... She makes her case in a variety of ways. She says Taylor's an inescapable global phenomenon. Her current tour has added $3.6 billion to the US economy, that her lyrics will be remembered in centuries to come. And the V&A in London, the V&A Museum, and Ellie, I think if everything goes south at GBNEWS, you have another job waiting for you, because the V&A is recruiting for a Taylor Swift superfan advisor.
Oh, you'd be good at that,
Ellie.
Ellie.
To me, isn't it?
It might be. The problem with this article is, and there's
nonsense.
But it's terribly written.
It's not brilliantly written, and we've been trying to work out what she wrote her dissertation. Is it romantic how all my elegies eulogise me?
Oh, my what?
Elegies, eulogise. I don't understand what the title of that means.
No, neither of us
Maybe
understand that.
I'm just being stupid. But also, the fact that Taylor Swift... I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. I think she is great. I think that the economic power that she wields when she rolls into town and does her...
Well, that's impressive.
...is impressive. I think
she's out
she's
tunes.
Well, that's a matter of taste, and that is up to you. If you don't like her music, that's absolutely perfectly fine.
I don't like it. I think it's perfectly fine. It's just bland. It's just everyday pop music.
Well, yeah, I mean, it probably is. And but she does kind of quote Wordsworth, and she has written Romeo and Juliet, a song.
She's a great lyricist.
She's but I don't think she is the best lyricist of her.
No.
If you're going to kind of open an exhibition and talk about, country music lyrics, Dolly Parton. I mean, Dolly Parton wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You in one day. And, I mean, she has kind of lyrics and quotes to live by. Find out who you are and do it on purpose is one of Dolly's. And when someone shows you their true colours, believe them. I always think that's a great Dolly Parton quote. These are the kind of things... And Dolly has been around for a long time. When Taylor's been around as long as Dolly, then maybe this would be a bit more justified.
She will be.
I think she will be,
She could be.
She's really captured, like, a cultural zeitgeist for a particular group of people.
Has she?
She really has.
Stephen.
Oh, yeah.
I do worry about her love life, though, because if she does ever find someone to fall in love with and settle down with...
I think this could be it now. This is it.
She's sorted. Travis Kelce.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, they are. They're like the Bush and Becks of the US. This is it.
Couple more weeks,
space, Susan.
and she'll be moving on.
There'll be an engagement, just you
Well, we'll talk about that next time I'm on, and she'll be on to somebody else by then.
I should think you're probably right. No. Get a grip.
No,
better than Wordsworth.
She's a nice person as well. She gave £10,000 to everybody on the tour, all of her crew.
Oh, not everyone.
That's lovely.
Generous.
Oh.
No, the crew who work with her.
Oh, right.
Very nice.
There you go. We'll bear that in mind when you're rich and famous. Thanks both.
Yes.
Here's the weather.
Thank you. Let's look